Welcome to the Loud and Live Sports Podcast. I'm Matt O'Keefe, your host, and I'm here with a couple special guests. Well, three special guests, two different angles. Here we have Shane and Josh from RPM, and I have Leora from Steve's Club. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us. Matt.
Thank you.
It's great to see you guys. Great friends. We've spent a lot of time together over the years. I'm happy to have you on and talk a little bit about some stuff you have going on, but. Let's start with Shane and Josh. Why don't you, for our listeners and viewers, just tell them a little bit about yourselves. Obviously I know plenty about you, but tell them about RPM and all the great stuff that you're doing.
The sort of quick retelling of the RPM founding is that I had a CrossFit gym back in the early days of CrossFit for 15 plus years, and we started RPM out of that gym, and it was started on the sort of the back of a premium speed rope, which most people are familiar with now in our space, and just kind of grew from there and sort of got to watch the CrossFit world grow up with us, and it's been a pretty cool journey along the way.
Very, very cool. Very cool. And I can attest to this, that you helped me get those dreaded double unders way back. So
Nice.
You're taking very good care of me. Yep. And my calves hurt today because of you. So
well done.
Yeah. And Leora, tell us a little bit about you and Steve's Club and all the awesome stuff that you guys are doing.
Sure. So my name is Leora. I'm the executive director of Steve's Club National Program. I've been with the organization for around 6+ years. And so Steve's Club, just in a very quick nutshell, we provide fitness, nutrition, education, and mentorship to underserved and at-risk youth nationwide.
Very cool. And we've had a lot of fun engagement with Steve's Club, through UIM.
That was incredible, by the way, Matt. Thank you.
What's that?
That was incredible, by the way, this year. Thank you for that.
Well, thank you guys. And you guys were a huge part of that, both of you, in a big way. That was super fun. It's just a cool testament to our community. I mean, I didn't do anything but call a bunch of people. You all did the work and put yourselves out, put product out. That was like that's my moment for 2020 was, all the mess that 2020 brought. That was like a aha moment for me. Like, we have a lot of cool people in our space.
Yeah, absolutely.
That, and I was amazed at how well Zoom could handle that many people on one call. I was like, wow, man, Matt knows a lot of people.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, I know. There's been a lot of big Zooming this year with all that's gone on. Yeah, we've had some hundreds of people on Zooms. It's fun. But yeah, thank you guys for all jumping in, and we're so proud that we were able to support Steve's Club with some of the proceeds, and I hope they've gone to good use. I know they do with anything you guys do. But that's not what this is about, because this is about something you guys are doing together. Let's talk about that. I think Shane and Josh, you guys reached out recently, and we're excited to promote and support what you guys are doing. What's the 10K challenge?
The 10K challenge, it starts in January 4th. Every year since 2014 now, we've ran a challenge where we ask the community at large to accumulate 10,000 double unders in 30 days. This year, if you don't have double unders yet, that's totally fine. Single unders are okay too. And really it's 30 days to accumulate that 10,000, which, if you do the math, is a lot of double unders, 333.33 bar a day. And it's funny when you talk about it, it doesn't seem like that many each day, but as soon as you miss a day, it becomes very difficult and very challenging. So consistency is king, and it's a really fun event.
Well, I mean, here, I know that you guys, have an educational component too, right? Is it good time for somebody to learn how to do them? I mean, where can they find some information on that? I think that's we'll get into what it's benefiting and why, but I can say that double unders are probably like one of the hardest things for people to learn. You want people to do it, any way they can possibly do it, but maybe it's a good time for people to learn that, maybe that'd be like the silver lining in this. How can you help people with that?
I will say, I'll back up a little bit and say that's one of the reasons that we created the rope to begin with, because we realized very, very early on in sort of the CrossFit's growth that double unders were like this very polarizing movement where if you have them, you love them. If you don't, you hate it. You throw your rope across the gym. Ropes were ending up in trees. It's just like very frustrating movement for people if they can't do it. And so in those early sort of online competition days, we were just searching for the best rope available for double unders, realized that there wasn't a great option out there. And so that's kind of what was the impetus for creating the rope to begin with. Since then, we've had some moments over the life of RPM where we've given some instruction here and there, but for the most part, we default to the amazing coaches in the community to bring that element to the masses, and then we provide the best piece of equipment for it. That being said, the 10K challenge is remarkably powerful in getting someone to become better at double unders, going from 0 to competency, or going from like having some double unders to really like increasing your volume, increasing your max unbroken. It's amazing what just a month of kind of everyday practice. And I know that's, advice that coaches give a lot to people who struggle with double unders to begin with. So this is a great sort of opportunity for people to hold themselves accountable to that daily practice. And you really do, even within RPM, where we're obviously very familiar with double unders, we can all do them, pretty efficiently. After that month, it's like you really notice a difference in your endurance, in how much less fatigued you are when they come up in a workout. So beyond all the awesome sort of philanthropic stuff we're able to do with the challenge, it is a really cool opportunity for people to get better.
Yeah, I mean, and especially in times like this too, where we're all moving back towards lockdown, it's one of those pieces of equipment that can really change the game for you. It has for me. I mean, I have done all kinds of crazy stuff with it through all the COVID mess. It's funny. I've watched, Matt, obviously Fraser, the one thing he probably ever struggled with was double unders this is like way back in like 13 and 14. And that's how he learned. He would do a workout called Flight Simulator every day. And that's how he pounded it into his system. So I'm sure, and he would, if he couldn't do it perfectly unbroken, he'd redo it. Like there are days, I don't suggest that to anyone, by the way. He couldn't walk for a bit, it was so rough, but it is, yeah. I mean, it's the way you got to do anything. Well, talk about the benefit side of this and the fundraising component a little bit, and where Steve's Club plays into that. And then I'd like to hear a little from you, Leora.
So we started the challenge in 2014, and it really started kind of just as a thing we ran through Instagram. And then we found out pretty quickly, like the participation was even greater than we anticipated. And it was obviously pretty sticky. So then 2015, we reached out to the Movember Foundation because we had always had this goal to attach it to a bigger purpose. And we can go into that in more detail later. But we reached out to the Movember Foundation, and they actually had a move initiative where they were getting people moving for the month of November every day. And as you know, a jump rope is super portable and is an amazing tool that can kind of go anywhere with you. So it was a really natural fit. And we worked with them for a few years. They were kind of the philanthropic arm of what we were doing for the 10K. And then just listening to our community, there was a big request to kind of bring it back home a bit more. So a little closer to functional fitness and like the space that we all grew up in. And so then we started the Iron Compass Initiative, which is the nonprofit arm of what we're doing at RPM. And our missions align really well with Steve's Club. We got linked up with Steve's Club as our primary charitable partner for Iron Compass. And that was last year. And kind of, I joined the board last year. And like I said, Leora and I are on the phone call pretty much every day now. So Leora, do you want to kind of hit on what Steve's Club's doing?
Sure. Specifically with the funds from the 10K, is that what you'd like me to answer?
Sure.
Okay, sure. So Yeah, just super, super grateful for the partnership with RPM and the 10K. So last year, Shane and I discussed really how we wanted the funds to be applied and how we wanted them to be earmarked for Steve's Club. And so we actually created what's now called the RPM Training Co. Start a Club grant program. And so what that essentially does is allows people and in communities to create a Steve's Club program that may not have been able to afford to do something like that before. So the grant covers a myriad of things, but with the funding that we got from this year and also the funding that will be given to us in 2021 from this upcoming 10K, we worked, in addition to creating the grant program, we now have a youth advisory committee. And one of our youth advisory committee members is also our intern, and she's a Steve's Club athlete. Her name's Tatiana. And she, over the summer, put a list of 400 gyms together using census data for gyms that are specifically located in underserved communities. And so we're about to start and kick off an outreach project at the beginning of next week. So we have 7 of our youth advisory committee athletes that are going to start making calls and sending emails to CrossFit gyms across the country to let them know about Steve's Club, who we are, what we do, how we could help them get a program started. And if they need that additional funding, there's now that grant program that we specifically created with the funds that RPM has so generously, and the Iron Cups Initiative has so generously donated to Steve's Club for that purpose.
That's really cool. Listen, tell, I mean, you can't do justice to what you do on a daily basis by talking about it. I promise you, people need to follow you guys, get involved. Tell us about some of the success of Steve's Club stories, pieces of success that you've had along the way. How did it start? Talk more about it. I really want people to understand it better. Because it's truly one of the gems in our space. It's remarkable what you guys do.
Thank you. That means so much. Well, so I guess I'll go back to the beginning. The program was founded by Steve Liberati in 2007, just as a local program in Camden, New Jersey, which is one of the poorest cities in the country. And his colleague Lee Knight saw the potential of what he was doing in Camden, and the impact really that it could have on youth nationwide. So that was 10 years ago at this point that they created the national program. And what makes our program relatively unique is that we have a 501c3 group exemption, which essentially means that all of the programs that operate and that partner with us across the country, they don't have to create their own 501c3 in order to get a program started, because the reason for that is that we really want the focus for them to be training kids and working with youth, and not so much have to do all of that, the back end administrative work, and also provide additional resources for a lot of individuals who really are not familiar with how to run a nonprofit. And so we're able to provide those resources. So we do things, all the way down to filing taxes for our programs, doing educational courses about board development, fundraising, things like that, again, so that their focus can be on working with youth. So at this point, 10 years later, we have close to 20 local clubs in 16 cities across the country. And we also have a growing national board. And as I also mentioned before, we have this new youth advisory committee, which really centers the voices of our youth even more and gives them an opportunity to really engage with us as partners, really as we develop our future priorities. And so again, now that we have this grant program, we're really hoping in 2021 to really expand our reach, open a lot more programs across the country. And if you'll allow me, I have some testimonials pulled up that, again, I can read briefly, but I think that they're really impactful if I have the time to do it.
You have all the time you need, honestly. Please, this is important. I really want people to hear it.
Awesome. So this testimonial is from a young man. His name's Dominic. He is from Camden, New Jersey. And so this was taken from, we did a virtual version of our leadership camp that we do every summer. We did a virtual version this September, obviously because of the pandemic. And so this testimonial comes from the assessment that we did of that program. So he said, before becoming a Steve's Club athlete and being exposed to CrossFit, I was a youth who did not really have much direction in life. I was in high school at the time, and I did not know what my life was going to turn out to be. With the help of Steve's Club coaches and fellow athletes, I was able to discover my strengths and gifts as an individual. I can honestly say until this day that Steve's Club helped me stay off the streets. As a teen in high school, I could have very well chosen drugs, alcohol, and other bad influences, but Steve's Club provided me with a safe second home where I was able to grow each day. Steve's Club kept me focused and allowed me to be a good student, which turned into me going to college, graduating in 4 years, and being hired immediately after graduation. Although I did not attend Steve's Club much while I was in college, I never forgot the values and unique views on life that has carried me to where I am today. Attending virtual camp this year as an alum, I am reminded of everything I learned from Steve's Club in the past, along with new things I wrote in my journal, which I will apply to my life as I start a new chapter as a professional educator. I am grateful to all of the coaches and anyone else who has contributed to this program to make camp possible this year. So that's just one of many testimonials that I could share, but it just goes back. And one of the priorities for our youth advisory committee going into 2021 is to start an alumni program. We had a huge outreach and a huge response from alumni to attend the virtual version of camp this year. So that's a huge priority for them coming into the new year as well. And that will all be completely peer-led and peer-run.
That's really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, right. I mean, it choked me up a little bit there. I am a grown man crying. That's really, I mean, honestly, congratulations. First of all, you guys have touched so many kids across the country. It's just amazing to see what you guys are doing. Just good people doing good things for the right reasons. And that includes you, Shane and Josh, and, your contribution to that. And I do know how much you care in general about the community, but B, philanthropic measures and initiatives. So you guys inspire groups like mine and my team to be better and get involved in these things as well. How do people get involved in this? How do they register? How do they donate if they might not be able to even jump? I mean, people should and could donate otherwise as well. So if you can't jump rope 10,000 times in a month, it's okay, right?
Absolutely.
I want to say real quick before we go to that, that was really cool, Leora, and it's just so cool to hear something that reinforces like the whole reason behind why we think or thought or knew that a philanthropic mission like this would be so impactful. And I think owning a CrossFit gym for so many years, you can see the impact that a daily functional training program has on an adult, right? I mean, you can see this. I mean, the adaptation, as we say, is between the ears is bigger than even, in the physicality. So the fact that can have such an adaptation on an adult, imagine the impact that has on someone who's just trying to find their way in life. And so I just think that is such a great illustration of that. And it just reinforces and sort of gives us the, extra motivation to just push this forward. And the 10K challenge, it was becoming clear that it was such a powerful tool for this when we started turning it into something that was beyond just a kind of a fun social media thing. And it goes back to kind of that thing that you were saying, Matt, about a jump rope being so portable and you can take it anywhere you go. And then we landed on this 10,000 number, and it ended up being the perfect number, I think, right off the bat, just because it's attainable. You can do it, but it's not easy. And just like everything else that we do in our conditioning programs, like it shouldn't be easy, right? And so the idea that it's this goal that is attainable for somebody, but you really have to stay on that consistency path, and you have to bring your jump rope everywhere you go, and you have to get your jumps in no matter where you are, which makes for some really fun social content from the people participating. We'll get videos of people double undering, on a top of a mountain at Disneyland, on a beach somewhere, just because you've got to get them in daily. So it's made it really fun. And so just to go back to your question about how to get involved, 10k.rpmtraining.com is our 10K challenge website. And I'm sure it's easy to find if you go to our website. I know Steve's Club has some information on how to find it, but there's multiple ways you can get involved. You can do the challenge. So you register for the challenge, and there's a registration fee that goes directly to our Iron Compass initiative. And all those proceeds are funneled through our mission. And then also you can add a donation, like this year on the registration page, you can add an extra donation, you can register a friend, you can add a 10K challenge t-shirt, and all the proceeds from the merchandise for the 10K challenge also go to the Iron Compass initiative. So there's a lot of ways that people can get involved on whatever level is comfortable for them, basically.
Okay, really cool. Well, listen, my wheels are turning too. So we need to do something with this at Wadapalooza, or the West Coast Classic or something. Get people to jump rope and find a way to fundraise off of it. So to be determined. But you guys, I'll challenge you guys to come back to me on that.
We love that idea.
We're I'll tell you, I mean, we're in, and we're gonna put the weight of anything, any influence we have behind it, and help and try to really move the needle and raise money. Anybody who's listening, really at its, most basic articulation is you can help kids, and there is nothing better and more, better to put your resources towards, or time better spent than that for me. Which meant what attracts me so much to what you do, Leora. Kids are special, and they're so precious. So especially with what you're doing, you have the chance to truly change some people's lives, which you do on a daily basis. I wish I did. We all try. You do it, impactfully, and you inspire us all with that. So I'll be jumping 10,000 times. I'm old, but I'll send you the photo of me. I'll put my Normatec boots on every night. I'll send you the photo of me in traction through this, but I'll do it.
You should get your kids involved this year, Matt.
I will. And it's a great idea. It's funny. My kids, and I can speak to this, COVID, put us in this unique scenario. I travel every week, and I didn't. And it was, one of the silver linings for me in COVID. There aren't a whole lot, right? And got to be home and spend a lot of time that I don't. I'm in Miami quite a bit. I live in Boston. And I was able to share the gift of what I try to do on a daily basis, which is breathe heavy with my kids. And my son's like a full-on, he's 14, a full-on CrossFitter now. I'm sorry, my daughter's 14, my son's 12, but he's a full-on CrossFitter now. Tia stayed with us for Thanksgiving, and had family doing imams in the garage, family workouts on Thanksgiving morning, and they love it. My son made my wife wake him up last week because he knew the rest of his day was packed to do a workout at 6:30 in the morning. Not normal for a 12-year-old kid. He's not that driven, I promise you. But yeah, I will. I mean, I think this is great. Good.
Honestly, Matt, we had the same experience. Well, Shane's kids are a little young just yet, but the fact that I was home every day, we have a little garage gym, and I would leave workouts for my kids to do. And I even installed a Ring camera so that I could coach them remotely if they had to text me when they were starting their workout, and I would just bring the little Ring video feed up. But me being home every day and like getting to train with them on a daily basis has like gotten them over that hump. And like you said, my 16-year-old is like a CrossFit junkie now, and my 14-year-old is on his way to being there. Just got his first pull up the other day. And so just seeing in my own kids like the impact that doing something hard every day has had on their life, it's a cool testament to what we can do with this on a broader scale.
Yeah, and you guys are doing it on a daily basis. I mean, it was what we were trying to do with the fundraiser, the United in Movement. I think it's truly a gift. We're very fortunate that we see the benefit of daily movement and staying active. That's not the case for everybody. There are we are in the business, right? You are, and you are as well. You're like we get it. There are multiple billions of people training on a daily basis, but 2 billion of 7.5 billion isn't enough for me. The more people need to see the value of activity. For me, with my family, it's time force time spent. It's like one of those things where it's like invaluable. You can't get that, value time that you get when doing things like that. We ski, we hike, so it's important. So this is a really good opportunity for people to do something together. So yes, my kids are in,
Sweet.
for sure, 100%. What well, I'll let you guys, maybe finish up with anything you might want that I didn't ask that people might need to know. But again, let's make sure we reiterate where people can register one time more. Obviously, through both of you guys, we will do a really good job of making sure that we get it out on our channels, and please others do the same. If you are going to spend some time doing this over the next month, talk about it. That's, I think, what people don't realize, the power. I don't care if you have 100 followers or 1 million followers. If you put something out like this and just start that movement of letting people know you do it, other people will do it. That snowball effect's important, and every dollar makes a difference in somebody's life, right?
That's absolutely true. And maybe we'll just expand a little bit on what you're going to get when you sign up for the challenge.
Yeah, good. Do it.
So after you register, our actual backend like dashboard part of the website will be live pretty soon. And so once you can log in and get to your dashboard, you're going to get this comprehensive page where you get to log your jumps on a daily basis. You'll have a calendar view where you can open a day and you can log whether you did single unders or double unders, and then it will save it to that day, and you'll get to see like the days that you're jumping, any days that you missed. You'll have a progress bar that shows you how close you're getting to 10,000. You have a couple little cool graphs that will show you your progress. We have some awesome sponsors on board. We have Whoop and LifeAid and Momentous Protein and Amp Human.
In the Ready State.
And Kelly Starrett of the Ready State is a huge proponent of jump rope and also super passionate about the cause as well. And so we have some really cool like survive the challenge videos that he's produced that will help your soft tissues survive the increase in double unders over the course of the month. He's also got some, going back to your point about how do people learn more instructional bits about jump rope. He's got some instructional videos coming out this year. Him and his daughter talking about ways to sort of build your rope skills, whether it's a double under or single under or some other drills as well. You're going to get discount codes from our sponsors. What am I forgetting, Shane?
So when you register, you'll also get a 10K bracelet. So if you guys start seeing a little bracelet, actually, I still have mine on from last year. Maybe you can see it. It made it a whole year, which is crazy. But this year it'll be a little black string with a little gold charm on it. And so if you guys see those circulating around Instagram, that is the 10K bracelet. And we're also, for the finishers, we'll have a prize pack this year for anybody that finishes. Helped through our sponsors, so lots of goodies in there. So yeah, lots of fun things. And I think what we found too is it's just people love leaderboarding for it too, even though there's no way we can control, there's no accountability of, how someone regulating how many jumps were logged, but people love to form teams and see how much their teams have raised. And yeah, there's a fun kind of whole social component.
Yeah, the leaderboard is really cool. That we have so an individual leaderboard that will show you where you're at sort of globally in the 10K challenge. And then you have a gym leaderboard or a team leaderboard, I guess it's called. So if a gym is doing it with all of their members, they'll all show up on, as their jumps counting towards their team, and then they'll rank all the teams. We have this year for the first time ever a youth leaderboard. So under 16 kids who join the challenge will get to see themselves placed on the youth leaderboard, which is going to be really fun. And then kind of piggybacking on that, this year we also have a function where we can help educators and coaches who have youths that obviously doesn't make sense for them to pay money to register for the challenge, but they want to get involved. So we have a feature on the website. So if a coach or an educator wants to contact us and get their students registered for the challenge, we can help them with that as well.
The email for that, just so for listeners, is just ironcompass@rpmtraining.com. So kind of any questions you can just funnel through there. Really, if anybody wants to do this, we're going to find a way to make sure that they can do it. So just reach out to us.
And by the way, you can integrate it into your workouts too. Like you don't have to just straight jump rope.
No,
Right? Let's just make sure people know, like you can do some
Yeah.
other things with this. So we
Absolutely.
probably would suggest you don't do that.
They all count. Like
Yeah.
if you're warming up for a workout, count those double unders. Don't let them go to waste.
We also have some fun workouts, like you said, like Flight Simulator is one of them, that incorporate a large amount of double unders that count towards your total. So, for anybody that's done it, just doing 333 double unders every single day is not quite as fun as mixing it up a little bit. So
That's good. Well, I have some ideas too. We'll talk more in detail about it, but maybe we can do some live sessions on Wadapalooza's handle.
we would love that.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
we actually have an affiliate kit that we will go out to any gyms that want to run a 10K challenge event, be it live or virtually, depending on the COVID scenario in their area. But that's a really fun thing for gyms that have their community doing the 10K challenge to do. So they can find more information on that on the 10K challenge website as well.
I would add, Matt, you said, like, what can you guys do? So really what we are looking for is just amplifying the megaphone, right? So like just bringing as much awareness to the 10K challenge and Steve's Club and kind of everything we're doing through the Iron Compass. And I think that's where the listeners can really help. And then I would say also, it's great even if people are talking about it after the challenge. We love that because it definitely builds for next year. But if you see all these posts and people are doing it and you're already a week behind, it's a little bit too late. Not totally too late, but you got a lot of work to do to make up. So I think leading up to the challenge, as much kind of visibility we can bring to it, the better.
And all you need is a jump rope, and you do not have to have an RPM jump rope to do the challenge, although obviously we know where you can get a jump rope. But if you've got one and it doesn't have to be RPM, no big deal, just get it turning.
And I'll just say from the Steve's Club side, if you guys are interested in learning more about Steve's Club, our website is just www.stevesclub.org. And we're starting info sessions beginning this January for anyone who's interested in learning more about the organization. There's a form on our website that you can fill out on our Start a Club page to sign up for the info sessions. And those info sessions will not only be run and led by us and the staff, it's also going to be run by the youth as well, some of our youth advisory committee members, and they can speak directly to the impact that the program has had on their lives on those info session calls too. So really, if you're interested, that's a great way to find out more information. We also have a lot of information on the website as well.
And I'm assuming the Steve's clubs around the country are going to do this, right? So, I mean, obviously that goes without saying, but how, let me ask you something on this. And if there isn't, maybe there's a way to, but is there going to be a digital component on Steve's Club? Do you guys do virtual workouts with kids?
So we did do that at the beginning of COVID. What we found is actually that we want that to be peer-led. And so that's going to actually be part of our alumni program that we're launching in 2021. I think that's a lot more impactful. And then we have some really great coaches that we've worked with over the years that have come to leadership camp and have helped us with our virtual program as well. And so they're going to be in contact with a bunch of those coaches. So it's not just the goal originally is going to be to do 2 classes a month on Saturdays so that it can be for any time zone. But then in addition to that, have some guest coaches come in and coach as well on occasion. So, and we've had some coaches reach out that do things like coaches development. And obviously we have a partnership with CrossFit right now for the Level 1 scholarship weekends. And so our youth are getting fairly educated on how to coach classes, but it's a really great leadership opportunity and coaching opportunity for them as well, because they will be the ones that are coaching those classes.
Well, why don't you do that too? Sign me up. I'll bring somebody special with me and do one of your sessions.
Perfect.
I'll get one of our athletes.
Leora's not happy if you can't tell him that.
Yeah. What'd you say?
I said Leora is not happy about that at all.
Yeah. No, seriously, let's do that. I'll make that happen. Let's catch up after. I'll come and bring somebody with me. We'll do it a couple times or whatever. We'll do that.
That sounds great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, guys, thank you very much. And again, I can't stress enough the amazing things that you guys are all doing, both of you, independently and together. help kids is really all it is. And Steve's club does a better job of that than anybody I've been around. So I'm proud of you and what you guys are doing, and really happy to support any way we can now with this and in the future as well. So great job, guys. You guys inspire the hell out of all of us. I'm about to go get myself ready for a lot of jump roping, and looking forward to following up with you and really helping out any way we can.
Great.
Thank you so
Hey,
much.
Matt.
Thanks so much for having us, Matt.
Anytime. And that's a wrap on the Loud and Live Sports Podcast. I'm Matt O'Keefe, and I'm with Shane and Josh and Leora from RPM and Steve's Club, talking about the 10K challenge. Get involved, and thanks for listening.